Amity University has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for the past 7 years. Amity has also set a new standard of academic excellence in India by becoming Asia's only not-for-profit university to be awarded US regional accreditation, as well as India's only university to be accredited by the UK's Quality Assurance Agency for Higher Education. The university is part of the not-for-profit Amity Education Group, established more than 2 decades ago by the Chauhan family. Today, the group is home to over 175,000 brilliant students, pursuing over 400 programs in 60 diverse disciplines across 9 universities and 26 schools. Amity Group's vision of establishing a global knowledge network has led to establishing international campuses in London, Singapore, Dubai, New York, San Francisco, Amsterdam, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, Tashkent, Mauritius, Nairobi, and South Africa. Amity's strong focus on research and innovation has led to the filing of more than 1,200 patents, which, according to the Controller General of Patents in India, is the highest number of patents filed by any individual Indian university. Amity is also engaged in conducting more than 300 high-end government-funded as well as international research projects, including those funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, United States Agency for International Development, and the Leverhulme Trust, UK. In the field of management, the university has developed more than 2,500 case studies in recent years that have been bought in 106 countries by over 2,300 leading institutions and organizations. The university has also pioneered the concept of industry-led institutions, where leading organizations such as the multinational conglomerate Tata, the UK's Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors, and the Confederation of Indian Industry (CII) have set up institutions in partnership with Amity on campus. Attracting some of the most brilliant students, Amity has instituted India's largest private scholarship programs, benefiting over 25,000 students. These students are blazing a trail of success, having filed over 100 patents and published 1,500 Scopus indexed research papers. It has also awarded over 2,000 PhD fellowships to brilliant researchers to carry out path-breaking research in thrust areas that will impact the development of the country. The award-winning Innovation Incubator on campus has nurtured more than 100 companies and attracted investments of over 40 million US dollars. The campus also has many high-end research centers, including ones set up with Nobel laureates.
A very warm good morning to one and all present here. Honorable Dean, Professor Dr. Sanjeev Bansal sir, Mr. Rajesh Maheshwari sir, Mr. Munish Mishra sir, Mr. Amitabh Shergill sir, Mr. Joyveer Dutt sir, Dr. R.S. Rai sir, Dr. Sumit Singh Jaiswal sir, faculties, students, and our lovely audience. Today, I
And I, Shreya Arya.
welcome each one of you to the 7th Global Research Conference 2022's Operations and Quality Forum. The theme for the forum is Leading in the New Reality, Insights into Actions. The world is currently changing as each second passes, be it technology, science, manufacturing, or operations. With advancements in almost every field, a new reality has been created in every sense.
We would like to welcome our Honorable Dean Professor Dr. Sanjeev Bansal sir, Faculty of Management Studies, Director and Head, Amity Business School, Noida. He is a passionate researcher and has more than 225 research papers, 47 authored books, and has successfully guided 28 research scholars to produce work of immense education impact. Sir has been awarded Lifetime Achievement Award by GBIT and SIDF. He has also won Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan Lifetime Achievement Award and Raj Ratan National Award by IRTT. He is also awarded as the Best Outstanding Academic Leader Award 2020 from KIER and Excellence in Academic Award by ESN in 2021.
We would now like to introduce our session chair, Mr. Rajesh Maheshwari sir, CEO of the National Accreditation Board for Certification Bodies, Quality Council of India. Sir has always been driven towards ensuring quality management in whichever area he works in. We now request Dean sir to felicitate Mr. Rajesh Maheshwari sir with the virtual sapling.
Welcome, Mr. Maheshwari. Thank you so very much for being there. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
We would like to first welcome all our esteemed speakers for the day who have spared their valuable time to provide deep insights about the topic and then proceed with their sessions individually. We would like to welcome our first speaker of the day, Mr. Munish Mishra, sir. Mr. Munish, sir, is the Marketing and Technical Director of Manav Energy. He has worked with NTPC, India's largest power generators, for more than 33 years before joining Manav Energy. At Manav Energy, he directs the company's global business output in terms of reach, marketing, and expanding company's portfolios exclusively on both national and international levels. We would now request Dean Sir to felicitate Mr. Munish Sir with the virtual sapling.
Welcome, Mr. Mishra. Thank you so very much for being there.
Thank you, Dr. Sandeep. Thank you. I'm honored.
Thank you, sir.
Next, we have with us Mr. Amitabh Shergill, sir. Mr. Amitabh, sir, is the Director Operations at Delivery Delhi. He is a driven senior logistics professional and is currently heading the first mile and the mid-mile operations for the northern region, aligning to the organizational goals as the director gave. He is also a military leader with 20 plus years of experience and proven achievements in security strategy and leadership in culturally diverse, politically sensitive, and strategically challenging environment. We now request Dean Sir to felicitate Mr. Amitabh Shergill Sir with the virtual SAT.
Welcome, Mr. Shergill. Thank you so very much for being there.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Dutta.
Pandemic be over and we will be having a chance to invite all of you in the physical form. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We would now like to introduce our next speaker, Mr. Joyvi Dutt, sir, Head ESH and ESG Task Force L&T Realty Mumbai, an aviator in private life with aeronautical and fire engineering, masters in occupational health and safety from International Labour Organization Training Center, University of Turin, MBA in leadership and sustainability from University of Canberra, and currently a researcher in Edinburgh Business School with around 22 years of experience in core health safety and environment in various industries. He has been awarded by the Government of India for exemplary contribution in extinguishing forest fires. We would now request Dean Sir to felicitate Mr. Joyvi Dutt Sir with the virtual sapling.
Welcome, Mr. Dutt. Thank you so very much for being there, sir.
Thank you so much for having me here, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We would now like to introduce our next speaker, Dr. R.S. Rai, sir, Head QAE and Director, RP&SS and QAE, MIT University, Uttar Pradesh. Dr. R.S. Rai, sir, started his career as a professor in MIT Business School, Noida. He has also worked as an editor at MIT Business Review, the journal of MIT Business School. He then was appointed as a quality head in quality assurance and enhancement. Currently working as a director, research planning and statistical services at MIT University, quality assurance and enhancement at MIT University, and a professor at MIT Business School, Noida. We now request Dean Sir to felicitate Dr. R.S. Rai Sir with the virtual sapling.
Dr. Rai, I am giving you a virtual sapling also, and I promise you a physical sapling also once we meet today. Welcome.
Thank you very much, sir. I'll come to your office.
We have to give a physical sapling also to Dr. Rai because he is in the campus only. Our own case.
Thank you, sir. We now request Professor Dr. Sanjeev Bansal sir to give the welcome address and introduce the Operations and Quality Forum to the audience.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much, Bhavesh, Shreya. With permission of this session convener, Dr. Sumit Singh Zasyal. Good morning, one and all. On behalf of our Honorable Founder President, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, our Chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan, Vice Chancellor, MIT University of Uttar Pradesh, Dr. Balwinder Shukla, organizing team of GLRC, all the faculty, staff, and vibrant students at MIT Business School. I extend a gracious and heartfelt welcome to all the esteemed speakers from academia and corporate, and participants joining from across the globe for the Operation and Quality Forum in 7th Global Leadership Research Conference GLRC 2022 on the theme Leading in the New Reality, Insight into Actions. Under the great strategic and dynamic leadership of our founder president, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, with his unparalleled vision, focused determination, and unremitting efforts, today, MIT is on the map of the world as a well-recognized group globally. MIT Group is spread in all the 7 continents and more than 30 countries of the world, with presence in 20 plus states of India. MIT Business School, ABS, MIT University of Uttar Pradesh is the first institution of higher education, flagship institution of the group, established in 1995. Today, we have 11 universities in India in different states. This is 17th version of our leadership conference, reinvented as Global Leadership Research Conference, GLRC in 2016. We all have been witnessing the unprecedented pandemic for 25 plus months now. The world economy is restoring, organizations are bouncing back, working environments are reviving, administrations and individuals are coming out of the slumber. The fast speed increase of better approaches for working and innovation is extending the gap among winning and losing associations. Those incapable to adjust to the new reality will be abandoned. New reality focus on 3 critical areas: climate, sustainability, digital transformation, and resilience. To provide products and services in desired quantity and quality on time and at reasonable prices has always been the main objective of organizations. For this organization, these organizations always strive for bringing excellence in the process at the back end. All the major techniques, including do it right first time, 5S, Kaizen, failure mode, total quality control, 6 Sigma, and so on, that we have been hearing since long, are to improve the processes in the organization so that defects, wastes can be controlled by eliminating, rectifying the source of waste. Challenges are unavoidable for companies wanting to be the best at the marketplace. Pandemic has affected every sector. This is a challenge to see how to respond with proper planning. The very objective of this forum is to deliberate upon these issues with respect to the new reality, with a special focus on quality. We have stalwarts from different domains today, and they will be sharing their experiences of such challenges and giving their valuable insights to the audience. Our heartfelt gratitude to Session Chair, Mr. Rajesh Maheshwari, CEO, National Accreditation Board for Certification Bodies, Quality Council of India, to accept our invitation and chairing this session. We are thankful to Mr. Munish Mishra, Director, Manav Energy Group, Mr. Amitabh Shergill, Director, Operation Delivery, Mr. Joyveer Dutt, Head ESH and ESG Task Force, L&T Reality, and our very own Dr. R.S. Rai, Director, RPSS and QAE. We are sorry to know about not so good health of Mr. Ajay Kumar Vajpayee, Head of Quality PV and EV Tata Motors, and Mr. Deepu VA, Senior Major Operations PUD and Air Hub FedEx, who were supposed to be part of this panel. We pray for their speedy recovery. On behalf of session convener Dr. Sumit Singh Zasyal and my personal behalf, a very hearty welcome to all once again. Looking forward for an interesting session. Thank you. We wish we can move.
Thank you, sir.
We thank you, sir, for the comprehensive introduction to the forum. Now, we request the session chair, Mr. Rajesh Maheshwari, sir, to present his opening thoughts and conduct the forum.
Thank you, Bhavesh. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible. So you want me to share your PPT or
Will you share it?
No, I can share it, not an issue.
Right. Bhavesh,
okay.
you unshare the screen?
Before I share the presentation, my presentation, let me thank Amity University and specifically Dr. Sanjeev Bansal and Dr. Sumit Jasyal for inviting me to this very important 7th Global Leadership Research Conference being organized by one of the prominent universities in India. A very warm welcome to all the participants, to all the faculty who's connected to this event. I would just share my thoughts before I'll just quickly move over to my presentation. As you know, the session has been on quality and operations, and if you look at the last few years, in maybe last decade, the focus of both the government and the industry has been how to make India a hub of manufacturing, how India make products and provide services which is world class. And in this direction, lots of efforts, lots of initiatives, and lots of support has been given by the government, as well as the industry is taking lots of initiative forward, and you would find this happening across sectors. You would have recently heard about defense sector. We are exporting from defense. Our exports are growing up, and we, as a country, have targeted to be a 5 trillion economy by 2025. So within this context, and when our young minds are attending this workshop, this conference, it would be a very good opportunity for each one of them to understand how this whole ecosystem works and how we are integrated with the global economies and how we can play a very important role in the global market share. So the speakers of this session has already been introduced, and we have speakers from diverse sectors, from energy sector. That's one area which is a big sector when you look at the Indian industry. The logistics, supply chain, e-commerce is another sector. So we have Mr. Amitabh Shergill from delivery. We have Mr. Munish Mishra from Manav Energy. We have a real estate, which is again a very important sector and which is impacting the lives of common citizens of the country. So we have Mr. Joyvid Dutt from L&T Reality. And education, everyone learns before he starts his career. So we have another eminent person, Dr. Rai from Amity University. So very nicely chosen all the sectors. Although we are missing the Dr. Bajpayee, who's from Tata Motors and e-mobility and all those new age technologies coming up, and Mr. Deepu, who's from FedEx. Let me share my quick presentation and to set the context for the other speakers to take it forward.
Yes, sir, it is visible, sir.
Okay, so I just wanted to start with a very important slide which describes how the international ecosystem for quality exists. And this is applicable for all the products, processes, and services that whether the industry uses or the common citizens uses. For any product or any service or any process, you would definitely need standards. And therein come the role of national or international standards body and the harmonization of standards. And if you look at on the right side of the slide is the international bodies which are involved into standards development, ISO, IEC, Codex Alimentarius, and these are only a very few of them which I've mentioned over here. Then when the standard is there, we would have the conformity assessment, which is certification or testing or inspection. And this is done by conformity assessment bodies. And again, there would be some international or national standards for doing those activities. And then how do you ensure competence in the certification or the testing or inspection activities? You would require an independent body to assess their competence. And that is where the role of accreditation comes, which is the two international bodies, IAF and ILAC, and the national accreditation bodies in each of the economies. And when you make measurements, whether the measurements are traceable to international standards, for example, 1 kilogram is 1 kilogram and 1 meter is 1 meter. So we have the metrology, another very important pillar of the quality infrastructure in the global economy and in any economy around the world. And we have international bodies like BIPM and the OIML for the legal metrology. Now, just to replicate this infrastructure in India, we have the Bureau of Indian Standards, which is the national standards body. We have the Quality Council of India, under which the different national accreditation boards exist, including the NABCB. We have the National Physical Laboratory, NPL, which is the National Metrology Institute, and we have the Directorate of Legal Metrology, which is responsible for legal metrology within the country. And ultimately, this whole ecosystem works in cohesion, and so that finally the business enterprises or the consumers are provided with products and services which meets the desired quality standards. Just to have a glimpse on QCI, we are set up by the Government of India in partnership with the industry bodies, ASSOCHAM, and FICCI. We are an autonomous organization and we are the national accreditation body of the country, and the chairman of QCI is appointed by the Honorable Prime Minister of India. The prime mandate is to provide accreditation within the country, spread quality movement across industry sectors, provide right and unbiased information on quality and rated standards, and represent India's interests in international fora, with the ultimate objective to help establish quality of Indian products and services. So this is how we are structured. We have a governing council, which is a multi-stakeholder council. We have different boards. NABCB is one of the boards which provide accreditation to certification inspection bodies. We have NABL, which provides accreditation to testing, calibration, medical laboratories. We have NABH, which provides accreditation to hospitals and healthcare providers. NABID, which is providing accreditation to educational and other institutions, for example, schools. NBQP is a board for quality promotion, and we have training and capacity building cell, which has an eQuest online learning module also program. And then we have different project groups, PPID, Z, and PAD. What is accreditation? It's a global system for creating confidence between economies with the objective to promote economic growth and free trade. And there are different ISO standards which we all follow when we perform this activity. So these are the various accreditation schemes that we provide at NABCB, whether it's the management system certification. For example, if an industry wants 9001 certification, they will go out and seek this certification from NABCB accredited certification body, or maybe 14001 for environment or any other management systems. If a product needs to be certified, they need to go in for certification body, which is accredited by NABCB. Even if a welder is needs to be certified, they will go for a certification body, which is accredited by NABCB. Inspections across industry sectors, whether it's for the food consignment or for a building or for a boiler, it will all be under NABCB accredited inspection bodies. And similarly, validation verification. And this is again, greenhouse gases is something related to the environment and sustainability. And this is all these standards are internationally used across the world, and we are part of the international system. So these are the international bodies: IAF, the International Accreditation Forum, and ILAC, the International Laboratory Accreditation Corporation, of which we are members, and we are signatory to the multilateral mutual recognition arrangements of these bodies, and which provides international equivalence and acceptance of the accredited reports and certificates that are issued by our accredited bodies. So the whole objective is, it's a global vision. It's a one single worldwide program of conformity assessment, and the whole objective is that any product or any process or maybe any service, once tested, inspected, or certified once, and the results, the reports or the certificate should be accepted everywhere. So now I have a very short, a presentation to just to set the context and to brief on how the things are happening around the world in terms of the quality and the accreditation. So let me now invite the first speaker, Mr. Munish Mishra, who is the Director, Manav Energy Group, to deliver his presentation. Let me just unshare my screen and over to you, Mr. Munish.
Thanks, Mr. Rajesh, for setting the pace. So before I share my presentation, I would like to thank MIT Business School for inviting me over to speak in the GLRC here. Special thanks to Dr. Sanjeev and Dr. Sumit. So please let me know when my presentation is visible to you all. Is it visible?
Yes, it is. And if you can kindly make it full screen.
Yeah, just a minute, sir. Is it okay now?
Perfect.
Okay, so I would be sharing my experience in the industry, 37 years of experience in the industry. And as rightly said by, hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so as rightly said by Mr. Rajesh, I represent the energy sector, was with NTPC for a considerable time, but presently I'm heading the global marketing and technology for Manav Energy. And Manav Energy, before I proceed, is a electrical safety and reliability solution provider, and we operate globally. So this is one of the lessons which I learned during my early career in NTPC. So what happened exactly was that I was doing a testing in one of these big running generators. And because of my less understanding and a fault, the generator tripped and the supply came to a halt. So it was a big issue. I realized my mistake immediately and reported to my boss. My boss kept his cool and said, "Did you learn your lesson?" I said, "Yeah, I did." "What went wrong?" I was able to explain him what went wrong. He said, "Okay, we'll circulate this as a learning to all these new entrants. Don't bother, we'll take care of this." So this lesson, which I learned way early in my life, was about leadership is about trust, confidence, mentoring, and teaching efficiently. This ultimately results in complete, efficient operation delivery and quality delivery. When you talk about operations, my experience has been of creating standard operating procedures for defined processes which are repetitive in nature, production lineups. Other system processes are to be defined and procedures laid down. But how do you tackle emergencies? A contingency planning also needs to be done. We all are aware of the COVID conditions across globe. So all companies today have geared up to a calamity like this. Whenever there's a pandemic, probably next time we would be better prepared. All these contingency plans should also be worked out and laid. It is better to take care by writing absolute experience and contingency, which needs to be taken care by even the new hires who should know what to do with minimum intervention. We back in NTPC had displayed these contingency plannings everywhere in the production lineups. It was on a glow board, even when the supply went out. So all these contingency plannings was written there so as to follow step by step rather than memorizing or remembering anything. the next important part is appropriate maintenance. I call this appropriate maintenance. I'm not calling it periodic maintenance or preventive maintenance or condition-based maintenance or opportunity maintenance. Why? It has to be a combination. We have to avoid over maintenance. We have to take care of the machines and the production lineup in such a way that the production lineup is available maximum times, thereby enhancing reliability and breakdown. But yes, by the way of maintenance, we have to take care that breakdowns do not take place. This will result in huge reduction in operating costs, thereby increasing operational efficiency. When we talk about quality, it is not only quality of products or services. It is quality of what statements you give to your customers or to your stakeholders. So do what you say. It is a commitment from your side that yes, I will do this, I will meet this target, or I will supply a product which satisfy this need. Words and commitment are important. Yes, customer satisfaction is the ultimate goal of the entire industry. The product and service should speak for itself in terms of this customer satisfaction. Reliability is key to products and service both. If a product is reliable, be sure that you have continuity business and the business is going to grow too. When we come down, when we talk about reliability, no matter how reliable our solutions or products are, problems may crop up due to various reasons at the time of distress and remote. A remote real-time troubleshooting is the game changer. And this can give you a cutting edge. The overall deliverables of quality and efficient operation is an enhanced brand value. This attracts a loyal set of customers and beats competition in the market. This leads to increased revenue, profits, and lets us operate at higher productivity levels, enhancing business. This also helps accomplishing company goals and long-lasting company efficiency. I want to take you to a new mantra, which probably I have discovered over all these years of experience in the industry. I want to migrate from customer satisfaction to customer's delight. Now, what is customer satisfaction and what is customer's delight? So customer satisfaction is achieved by exceeding the customer's expectation to create positive experience with the brand or service. What do we understand by customer delight? You are proactive. You take risk. You solve customer problems before it appears. Before the customer is able to realize that, okay, this problem is going to come with the product or service, you are there to help them out. I recall an incident which happened during my initial tenure in Manav. So we had one of these generators who were looking for a commissioning of an excitation system. So excitation system is part of a generating unit. And the original equipment manufacturer had put down their hands that this equipment cannot be commissioned because of damage during transit. We were approached and we took up the challenge. We commissioned this system, although there was a lot of risk, but we agreed to take that risk and we commissioned this system 1 year in advance. Had the customer waited for the new system, the production lineup would have gone into production 1 year after, because the delivery was from Europe. The OEM is Europe based. But the customer was finally able to get the production lineup 1 year in advance. So this is what I'm trying to express here, or make you understand that yes. And I got a very good compliment. The company received a huge laurels from the chairman of the company, for which we did this job. So importance of quality operations and operations efficiency has to be in such a manner that it facilitates the lead team efforts to establish and monitor customer relations, support strategic planning and deployment initiatives, help develop measurement systems to determine organizational improvement, and motivate the employees and the leadership. And a continuous evaluation is definitely a requirement of the industry. And maintaining quality and operations in an organization will be done through ownership and responsibility, continuous watch on the financials, evaluating risks at all times, and employ knowledge management tools and techniques in resolving organizational challenges. I'm done with it, Mr. Maheshwari. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Manish. It's been actually a delight to hear you, and you actually are a kind of motivational guru, and we actually would be happy to hear sometime other time also. May I now request the next speaker, Mr. Amitabh Shergill, who's the Director of Operations and Delivery, and to share his thoughts and views on quality and operations, specifically when in current context, e-commerce and logistics are the backbone for any industry sector. Over to you, Mr. Shergill. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Maheshwari, for that. At the outset, I'd also like to thank the Amity team and Dr. Bansal for inviting me, being part of this August gathering, and also part of the students. Very grateful to be part of this organization's meeting. So I'll just initially just share a presentation wherein I'll just be talking about a little bit about what delivery does. And thereafter, I'll talk about operations and quality. I won't really be showing you any slides on it, because I'm sure a lot of it is theoretical. A lot of it is common to the companies, some of whom are on the panel today, as well as other companies as well. And I'm sure you have a lot of theory. So I'm going to be more specific to what is actually going to happen, what actually happens practically on ground when it comes to operations, and what really is quality that we are talking about. So I'll just initially share my presentation just to give you an idea. Yeah, I presume you can see that now.
Yes, we can see.
So as you can see that, logistics today, so delivery is basically a third-party logistics company. When we talk about e-commerce companies, obviously the very famous ones are like Amazon or Flipkart. I'm sure probably a huge number of people who are sitting in this audience today, including the esteemed speakers as well, would have utilized the services of delivery inadvertently. Amazon, let's say, just to give you an idea, if you order something from Amazon, more than 50% of the chances are that it will actually be delivered to you by a company like, say, a Delivery or a Blue Dart or a DTDC. So as you can see, this is a very basic slide which shows the evolution of logistics. And today we are reaching a stage where drone technology is definitely coming into it, and e-commerce companies and companies, third-party logistic companies are also looking at delivering packages directly with the help of drones. How it develops is going to be, and what are going to be the regulations and accreditations for that, that is a separate matter. But that's where we are moving today as far as logistics is concerned. Here, this is just a basic slide telling you that today the e-commerce and logistics industry, how valuable it is, and it is just growing year on year. You would have seen now with the pandemic as well. More and more people are actually getting online, and this is further and further going to grow. And technology is definitely going to be leveraged out here. This is just to give you a small idea. Don't have to worry about the technical terms which we are using out here. Just to give an idea of how a shipment is picked up when we talk about, say, what is a fulfillment center is basically like a warehouse, or sometimes it's picked up directly from the client. We pick it up, bring it to a processing center, bringing it to a warehouse, how we move it, whether we move it by air, we move it by road, thereafter how it is processed when it reaches, and then finally how it is delivered to a customer at the end. Just to give you a little bit of an idea as to what all does it entail in terms of, say, logistics as well as technology. Obviously, customer satisfaction is very, very important. The infra and the technology has to be, and the quality has to be of the highest quality and has to have the maximum reach. Otherwise, it's not going to be very, very effective. And also, very important factor to be kept in mind for all businesses like it is there is P&L. The cost has to be kept in mind. It cannot be, because at the end of the day, you're in competition. Your, company's P&L is driving this entire business. From the technology side of things, we need to continually keep innovating. We have to keep building up our products. We have to keep using things now like AI, data analytics, keep innovating to be ahead of the competition. And not only because of that, because at the end of the day, like what Mr. Munishir also brought out, the customer satisfaction and customer delight, that's what is most important. If you don't receive the package in time, you're going to be complaining to me or reaching out to me on LinkedIn to say that my package is not reached or I'm most unhappy. So yeah, all this is kind of interrelated to each other, and to ensure that we produce quality work and through the operations. Some of the technological disruptions, I'm sure you're already aware of all these aspects. These are all now being utilized very much so in the logistics sphere. Data analytics, AI, automation. Automation is most important for us. We ensure so that the packages are able to reach in time, processed in time, robotics, IoT, advanced algorithms. So we have backend innovation teams. These are very, very important now today in the logistics sphere. Just to give you a small idea of what all are the various profiles that you can look at when you come into, say, the logistics sphere. These are just a few, and to give you an idea, everybody, there are various other aspects as well. Say you have your commercial teams, you have your audit and compliance teams, you have your security teams, you have your back-end product teams out here. Like I said, your network design analysts, you have your customer satisfaction teams, client satisfaction, your business development team. So there's a large number of verticals which go into making up what a third-party logistics company or any logistics company today which wants to be ahead in the business is going to be taken care of. I'm not going to be talking much more as far as the slides are concerned. I'm going to just stop sharing that there. So what I'm going to be talking about as far as operations and quality per se. Now, operations, to be very honest, like I said, I'm going to be talking about practical aspects. Operations is the engine room. It's very clear for any business. It's also a very thankless job. but also at the same time, it is a very rewarding job. And you're in the limelight. You're the one who's seen by everybody. While yes, it takes a team. Yeah, like I said, a business development team, client satisfaction team, your security team, everybody. Obviously, it takes everybody to make a success. But the most visible and the most critical is the operations, and all results of the company or any company for that matter are driven by the operations man or woman who's on the ground. That's not going to change. Technology may reduce the number of men, technology may reduce the number of women on the ground, but they are going to remain. That's not going to change. It is only going to make them better. And the more we embrace this and the more we are willing to embrace this and be open to it, the better we would be. Technology will always come in handy. You know, you have, it'll make things a lot more leaner. You will be using, but you will be using AI, you'll be using your dashboards, you'll be using IoT. But at the end of the day, it's the man who's going to be doing it. If you're in a warehouse, if the packages have to move, if it has to move in a vehicle, at the end of the day, you're coming down to manpower. And who is going to be driving it is the man on the ground, the operations person, who's fully aware of what the challenges on the ground are. He's the one who's going to be driving the technology as well, besides the man. Another important aspect which I would like to bring out, which is very inherent to operations, is leadership. I bring something a little different to the table, having been in the armed forces. You know, I was in the armed forces for over 20 years before I shifted to the corporate sphere. Operations has a very different connotation out there. But at the end of the day, what is very common to the corporate world is leadership. And by leadership, I clearly mean that you as the leader have to lead. You can't talk, you know, because today it's very, very different. The man below you may not just follow you just because you're saying it, just because you're senior to him, unless and until he sees that you're professionally competent, unless and until he or she sees that you're good at your job, he's not going to follow you and you're not going to be able to get the results. And it was exactly the same what I did in the armed forces as well. If I didn't lead, and if I didn't lead by example, if I couldn't do something, I wouldn't tell my man to do it. It is as simple as that. And that's what it boils down to as far as leadership is concerned. It is not just simply passing orders just because you're in a higher designation or passing instructions because you're sitting on a higher table, unless and until you can do it. And that's why they, you know, always say that you grow from ground up. If you have done each one of these processes yourself, if you have yourself got your hands dirty, it's then and then only that the man realizes that, okay, you know, if he's passing certain instructions, he knows what he's talking about. And then he's going to do it, and he's going to do it more happily. He's not going to do it just because you're saying it, but he'll do it a lot more happily. Another important aspect which is intrinsic to operations is quality. Obviously, quality is very, very important. And I will, you know, limit myself to my particular industry when I'm talking about quality. It has very many different hues. It has very many different aspects of quality. Most important, like I said, client satisfaction. Another important aspect is the product. How are you developing your product? How are you providing better quality services? How are you utilizing and technology? Process automation. How are you going to use automation? Quality of this, if this is not good, if you are not going to provide good stuff to him or good service to the client, it is all interrelated. Thereafter, some of the steps, how do we achieve this? How do we achieve quality? When I come to, say, my business or say the logistics business in general, faster delivery times, better network engineering, less damages in handling, or there's zero damages in handling and transit. You wouldn't want to receive a package which is damaged. There should be no loss of shipments. Your pickup performance, when you're picking up a shipment from your client, it should be picked up in time. Let's say you manifested a pickup, or you said that, okay, I need a shipment to be picked up. If it's not picked up in time, you're not going to be happy about it. Faster processing, faster movement of shipments. Constant product development from the back end, how to make it faster, how to make it better, how to make it, you know, so that you ensure that there are no losses and damages. So this is constant. So all these aspects are very much part of quality experience, customer delight. And all, like at the end of the day, this is all gets validated by what Mr. Maheshwari also said, that the accreditations, the audits, at the end of the day, what we are doing has to follow certain norms. It has to be within a certain structure. It has to be audited, and thereafter you achieve your certifications and accreditations accordingly. And only if you are able to provide each of these services of the quality desired are you going to get those accreditations. Another important aspect that you have to keep in mind while doing all these is definitely the cost factor. And like I said, P&L is very, very important to a business. You must keep that as always at the back of your mind, because you must need to be productive. You need to be profitable. And only and if you're productive and profitable, would you be able to provide better service, better quality. So, talk about it in a nutshell. At the end, all I like to say, like operations is definitely is a very, very viable field to get into. It's also the most visible. You would be, like I said, it's also a thankless job, but at the same time, on the other end of the spectrum, you're also going to receive the maximum kudos. When I say it's a thankless job, it's like, okay, if the normal things are going on, people will say, "Theek hai, chal raha hai." But even the smallest of mistakes are made, they'll say, "Yeah, what a lousy chap," or "What a lousy team, it's just not working." So at the end of the day, you have to work as a team. It's very, very important. Each one of those aspects, like I said, every finger on the hand is very, very important, and that's how you make a fist. Without that, you're not going to be very, very successful. That's all from my side, Mr. Maheshwari. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Mr. Sheghil. And you actually touched upon very relevant and very pertinent points with regards to the logistic supply chain. And in fact, giving insights into how this whole process works. And you rightly said, you are the ones who are working from back, not the front faces of big companies like Amazon. And one point which you, I'm say, touched upon is leadership and leading by example. And that's very important for any organization to succeed or any person to succeed. And since we have lots of young students here and who are going to be the future business leaders or future corporate leaders in different domains, this is something which I want to highlight is leadership and leading by example is one which is very important. I'm say, and since you have a defense background, I'm saying the force cannot move without the leader in the front. I'm saying the leader can't hide behind his own men. So he'll have to lead from the front. Thank you so much. And it was actually a very wonderful thoughts you had shared. So let me now invite the next speaker, who's Dr. R.S. Rai from Amity University, and again from the services sector. So it's a right balance between the services and the products. So from education, which are shaping the young minds, bright minds, and this is again a very important area which we need to touch upon. So over to you, Dr. Rai.
Thank you very much, Rajesh sir, for your invitation. I am very happy to be part of this August panel. Thanks to Dr. Sanjeev Bansal, Dean FMS, and Dr. Sumit Singh, my brother, Head of Department of Operations. When I saw the list of speakers, I wished that I had been part of only listeners here, but Dr. Sumit has given me this responsibility to tell all of you about the quality initiatives taken by Amity University. Listening to Mr. Rajesh Maheshwari was a very nice experience, and when you have given us a glimpse about the quality management scenario of the country vis-a-vis international. And when we heard Munish ji, his anecdotes about his 35, 40 years experience, and he filtered his experience in few slides and given us that. And Amitabh ji's delivery. So when Mr. Amitabh was here, I looked into my SMS history, And I found that delivery's first message was to me on 14th March 2021. And this message came, I thought there is some spelling mistake. It should be delivery and they're writing delivery. But later on, I realized, no, it's a company. And then after that, I had many messages from delivery. And today, now I know the secret behind the success of delivery. Kudos to Amitabh ji, you and your team. Now, the responsibility given to me is to talk about the quality initiatives at Amity University. Respected speakers and dear listeners, we got established in 2005 and today is 2022. So in 17 years, our university has made a mark on the higher education scenario of the country. And the credit goes to our top leadership, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, Chancellor, our Dr. Atul Chauhan, our Vice Chancellor, Dr. B. Shukla, and our deans and directors like Dr. Sanjeev Bansal, etc., who from very beginning have focused on quality and quality delivery of higher education. And then we had quality assurance and establishment from the beginning, from 2005 itself. Prior to that, prior to beginning university, we had this department. But today I am focusing on IQAC, which is a mandate of Government of India, Ministry of Education and NAC. So we've established IQAC in 2010 and it became fully functional in 2012. And the existing quality management systems and audit procedures, etc., they were aligned with IQAC. And though the NAC says we should have one IQAC at university level, but we divided that into 3 levels. So we have an Apex IQAC at university level. Then we have IQACs at different faculty domain level. And then at every institutional level, we have IQACs. So IQAC is our decision-making body. And the execution body, we have a department known as Quality Assurance and Enhancement, which operates this functioning of IQAC. So these are the roles. I'll not go very much into them. These are the quality policies that we look into. Even prior to IQAC, you could see the university was established in 2005. And first ISO certification that we got was in 2006. So you could very well understand our top leadership was inclined towards quality and quality delivery from very beginning. So this is our organogram of IQAC. This is the composition of university level, then faculty level, then institutional level. So this is our strategic planning and deployment chart, which is a very focused approach where we derive it from university vision, mission, and then we look into strategic objectives, which are further connected to our broad-based goals. And we prepare a strategic plan for 5 years. So now we are working for a strategic plan of 2022-27. And we are looking into all post-pandemic issues to be included in that strategic plan also. So I'm not going into details of every broad-based goal. So these are the reviews which we've done. And we look into what targets we've set and what we've not achieved and what are the reasons to not to achieve those targets. And then we look into next annual academic planning also and next 5-year plan also. This is our planning process. We have university IQAC, domain IQAC, institutional IQAC, you could see at the left. And this is our university IQAC planning in strategic areas where we have academic planning, teaching learning strategy, annual calendars of all departments and institutions, annual event planning, workshops, seminars, everything is planned. Internationalization, faculty staff planning, learning resource, etc., etc., etc. And all these goes to academic council, planning board and finance committee. From then their recommendation goes to executive council. They approve it, it goes to the court, which is the highest apex body of university, and the decision flows back. We also have periodic reviews of curriculum, program reviews. So you would see we are very flexible. I would like to inform our industry leaders sitting here. We are very flexible as far as curriculum and program review is concerned. Though the gap between the industry requirements and what academia is teaching remains always, but we try to fulfill this gap every year. And we have our board of studies area academic bodies where we have people from industry, and we take their feedback on every course, every program, and then we keep on improving our curriculum every year. You could see we have monthly quality meetings at institution level, and once in a semester at domain level. Now this year we have done it quarterly, and university IQSC, earlier we used to do it annually, now we are doing it quarterly. If you could see, this is a chart. If I'll explain it, it will take time, but it's our quality assurance system, and all the processes are mapped, are looked into, and every faculty, every dean, director, every stakeholder is informed about this. So these are the checklists, and these are the inputs of our quality process planning, reviews and outputs. We have institutionalized quality. It's not that only we are talking about it and only top leadership is talking about it whenever we have seminars. So it's not just the poster thing. It's ingrained into our day-to-day functioning also. You could see we rely very much on data. So our decision making is data driven. So if you could see, these are our student data collection and analysis. At every point we are collecting data and we are taking actions, for example, from admissions to enrollments to orientation program. During the academic semester, we collect data for monthly attendance, core performance, student course feedback, monthly course coverage, the feedback of class representatives, then club and committee meetings, what about industry guests who are coming, delivering lectures to our students, and wherever in which area our activities are lacking, where we have to enhance those activities, etc. Then at the end of the semester, we also take the feedback and data we collect, and then we take actions accordingly for the next semester and next year. During examinations, we take post-examination. So you could see at every stage of student life cycle, the data is being collected, analyzed, the insights are drawn into, and the decision making and further future actions are based on that. So it's not the gut feeling, the sound decision making is based on the data that we draw from students. Now then it is the data collection from faculty, which is very faculty specific. And then institutional centric data also, what we are required to do for institutional rankings, accreditations, for industry connect, a very important internationalization. Our students are now across the globe in all continents, working in good companies, MNCs, working in research laboratories and universities. They are going for further education to top universities of the world, because we make them connected to international scenario, studying here, and we send them for semester abroad program also. So all this data we collect, analyze, and take actions on that. This is the information flow. Sumit, please tell me whenever I exceed the time, because I don't want to exceed the time.
Definitely, sir. We have time. We have time.
Right,
Please
right.
continue.
So Maheshwari sir, this is just a glimpse of how we are utilizing the IT tools. So this is, if you could see, this is Amazon. This is our internal ERP system developed by our own people. We have our own team, which is AKC Data Systems, and their job 24 hours is to maintain our IT, our databases, and our ERP system. So you could see this is the on my dashboard. All these are the stakeholder feedback, and when I click view, I could see which all departments have analyzed the feedbacks, what actions they are planning to take for next year, and then next year they have to review the last year's data also, what actions they have taken and what was the impact, and then that year data also, and what is pending, etc. So you could see here the when we click this view, you get this view, and in the right hand side, every head of department has to enter what actions they have taken, and all these are being compiled and being looked into at university.
Yeah, Dr. Rai, I'm saying good to see how you are ensuring quality in the various processes or the delivery of the educational services that you do at university. And of course, PDCA cycle is globally known for.
Sorry, sir, I'll take only 30 seconds more. Just 30 seconds.
Please go ahead.
So the impact of all this, we are a very young university, only 17-year-old university. What was the impact, outcome of all these quality activities? So we are only university in India to get these many national and international accreditations from world leading bodies like WASC of USA, QA of UK, IET of UK, REX, IACB, and our national NAC. And then let me show you some of the outcome of these quality initiatives. This is recently in 2021, we've been ranked among top universities globally for producing most employable graduates. We've been listed by Ministry of Education at top university, top 10 university with innovation achievements. India Today ranked us #1 not-for-profit private university. The Ministry of Commerce has given us this award. This award is for 2020, but was given in 21 by Minister Shri Piyush Goyal ji on National Intellectual Property Award. We were only university to get this award. Nationally, we are ranked 25 out of around 900 universities by Ministry of Education, NIRF. And this accreditations we've already talked. We are the only university apart IITs, ISC, Delhi University and University of Kolkata amongst in QS Indian University rankings. Some of I'm just showing you some of the glimpse of research projects undertaken by our scientists and professors. So we have right now 515 research projects in partnership with DST, DBT, CSIR, DRDO, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundations, etc. So thank you, Maheshwari sir, for giving me this opportunity. And thanks, Dr. Sanjeev Bansal and Dr. Sumit Singh Jasia. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Rai, and for giving insights into the how you are ensuring quality at different levels of or different processes within the delivery of education services that you do at MET. And my thoughts on this is that education and health are two important sectors for any economy to handle. I would say if they can take care of the young minds in providing a very good education, and they can take care of the health of the citizens of the country, the economy is going to flourish like anything. I would say that's my view, and I keep this view for many, many years. So may I now request the last eminent speaker, Mr. Joyveer Dutt, who's the head of ESH and ESG at L&T Realty, which is a real estate company. In fact, L&T moving from hardcore engineering company to real estate, and now becoming one of the renowned real estate companies. And construction sector is one area wherein both quality and operations, I'm sure timely delivery of the projects is very important. So I would now request Mr. Dutt to deliver his presentation and share his thoughts. Over to you, Mr. Dutt.
Thank you so much, Mr. Maheshwari, for a warm welcome. And I am very much pleased to be a part of the eminent speakers and the students of MIT University. To start my presentation, before I start my presentation, I just wanted to say that how important the real estate industry in India would be in coming days. There is a figure says that by 2040, the real estate market will grow to rupees 65,000 crores, which is equal to US dollar 9.3 billions, from rupees 12,000 crore in 2019. So you can see a big leap from an economical standpoint from where the real estate industry will grow up. Plus, it is also expected that real estate industry in India will be reaching US dollar 1 trillion and market size by 2030, up from US dollar 200 billion in 2021, and contribute around 13% to country's GDP by 2025. Moreover, it is not unknown to all of us that construction industry gives a very good amount of percentage in terms of giving employment to our countrymen, which is also a very sustainable development plan. If you see, it's very important that we also give employment to our countrymen and to the people and the future leaders coming forward too. With that, if I may share my screen, or somebody will share the presentation for me.
Yes, you can share. You have the right to share your presentation.
Great. I am not seeing.
You would see the share screen button in the bottom green color of your screen.
Yes, yes, I do. Yes, I do. So my screen is visible now?
Yes.
Wonderful. So basically my talks today, definitely the theme today is around leading in new reality insights into actions. And moreover, the focus is in quality. But what I am going to say is a little lateral view of quality and ingraining the health and safety, which is like operational excellence and safety and their interrelationship, how health and safety can enhance quality works in our domain. Now, to go forward, I understand that everybody of us must be knowing that what is actually operational excellence. Not going in details, but just to show you, as the world is changing, it's on my words, like as the world is changing, so does the business world. And in changing times, the emerging risks, there are many risks which are emerging from the horizon, and end users' expectations are constantly altering. And if I may quote from the things from a real estate perspective, what the customers before were expecting and today what they expect is far, far better quality. Now, another point of view from a real estate company is very important, that we do not only build their houses. What we do is we build their dreams. Especially in India, you might be understanding that people spend a fair amount of their saving, the fair amount of their total life earning into something which they want and want to call it as their own home. So imagine the quality consciousness a real estate company needs to have. The reason behind is we are attaching with them, we are engaging with them from an emotional point of view, not only from a product and services point of view. So real estate industry particularly, I believe, is very important from an emotional connection to the customers. And when we are connected emotionally, then the safeguarding of all the processes, even the operation excellence, how we build their homes or how we build their dreams is extremely important. And another very important point again in here comes is, like, if in an operational excellence, the main things is basically 3 Ps, as you all know, which is people, process, and ultimately profit. As all the speakers were talking about, the center stage is people. Now, center stage is people, and in quality management system also, if you see, and in any management system, it's internal customer and external customer. If we cannot take care of my own internal customer, who can be my own employee or my contractor, how I can take care of the needs and requirements, and how could I delight my customer or the end user? So if I make my people happy at the operational stage, then probably I am in the right stage and right direction to make and delight my customer in giving their dreams. That is what is saying. Now, here, as you say, operation excellence ensures overall business excellence. And here you can see like the managing emerging risk and risk at hand adequately. Now, if I may go back a bit in 2020, and will give you a personal experience, like what happened. Basically, I was in Turin, I was in Italy in 2020, when actually this coronavirus started. And I was completely locked down in a small city of Turin in Italy, and was not able to go out. Was talking to many business leaders there, and everybody was having their 5 years plan, 10 years plan, long-term strategy and everything. It all went out of window when this pandemic struck this world. So this pandemic was an emerging risk. Probably yes, some can argue probably not. Whether it was a black swan or it was a gray rhino, it's a matter of debate. However, as an in operational experience, it is extremely important that we always scan the horizon, the risk horizon, that what are the risks emerging and what are the risks at hand. Risk at hand can be like the material delivery. For example, say in a real estate industry, we need lot of material delivery on time to ensure that we give the projects, we give the homes to the buyers at time. So during this coronavirus, many of our supply chain, or rather we call it as a value chain, was affected. And when it was affected, then you understand that how the timelines of the projects has to be elongated. Another issue was we were losing people, not because of health and safety or occupational health and safety reason, but because of this pandemic. So again, there was an emotional connections with the people who are going to build our own dreams. So how all this inculcate was, we had to, and we have to, as a business leader, when we think, we need to always scan the horizon for this risk, which is emerging. Another very important factor is ensuring to meet customer expectation. As somebody rightly said, I think Mr. Munish was saying, and the right way of saying is, we need to do a customer delight. And when we want to do a customer delight, we need to take certain risks. And it's all common. Your operational experience, excellence comes on the proper risk management. When you see the risk, how do you manage it? And end of it, all the business, what they want is to get the business a healthy bottom line. So now from a process efficiency point of view, I may say, like how safety at work creates efficiency. It's very important. We need to understand the interlinking between these things. And if the safety is good, the quality will be good. It is basically just two sides of one coin. And in many organizations, you can say the quality and health and safety, the department is also one, we call it as a QHSE. The places where I worked before, the department was called as a business excellence, and within the business excellence, the quality, health and safety, environment, social governance, everything was coming in part. So basically it is one thing, it's different sides of the same coin. Now, from a safety point of view, if you say, if the people feel safe, what it gives actually is sense of trust. And once there is a sense of trust, there is a reduced or no injuries and downtime, and you all will appreciate that downtime is a production loss due to any incident. And what it does, it enhances morale. When the morale is enhanced, it brings high productivity. And the high productivity plus high morale plus trustworthy environment, it increases efficiency. And when the efficiency, the process efficiency increases, it automatically leads to a better quality product, a better quality services, or rather we say is that we delight the customer. Now, few trivia from a safety, like how it is important. Now, ILO, as you know, the International Labour Organization, it estimates that around 2.3 million women and men around the world succumb to work-related accident or diseases every year. It's very, very big figure. And imagine that actually corresponds to over 6,000 deaths every single day. Now, with all my moral responsibility as a human being, and you will also appreciate as a human being, your death, we cannot compare with any financial losses. But from a business house perspective, if I see from a macro level, 6,000 day death every single day, how much trillions of dollars it would have been siphoning out from the industry itself. Worldwide, there are around 340 million occupational accident and 160 million victims of work-related illness annually. Another very important point of showing this trivia to you was, if I as a worker go to an work operations or operations site, and if I feel that I may be injured or I may not come back to my loving wife and my loving children in single piece, would I be able to deliver excellence? Would I be able to deliver the quality what the organization needs? So another way of thinking about is quality, health and safety for the people who works is one thing. It needs to be seen as one thing only. Now, from a India's perspective, especially from a construction industry, about 48,000 workers in India die from work-related accidents. 38 of which occurs every day in construction sector. It is referred from Indian Express 2019, and from a research paper, the minimum number of people who died annually in construction sector in India between 2008 and 2012 was around 11,614. It is recorded. Something which is not recorded is not being shown here. So you can understand the human value. Every human has also a value. And the trust factor, which needs to be inculcated in our operation excellence, is extremely important to get on the quality, to get on the actual excellence on our operations. Now, how do we ensure operational excellence in our works from the lens of safety? As you all know, the Deming cycle, it's a very common one. We call it a plan, do, check, and act. But one factor here I want to just focus. Yes, we do plan. But when we plan, do we monitor plan? Now, as a QHSE, as a quality, health, and safety, now from an incident point of view, if I may say, the definition of accident is what? The definition of accident is any unplanned, untoward incident which causes harm. So when you plan a work, and if it is not happening because of resource shortage or something which has not, the delivery has not occurred, so some ad hoc planning occurs. And when the ad hoc planning occurs, one thing is very important in construction industry, especially, the word is called agility. We have to be extremely agile, extremely thinking about the emerging risk because of this agility. And we then do what? We plan dynamically. We do the desktop planning for sure, 7 days work ahead, monthly plannings, yearly plannings, the project planning. But at the same time, there is a microscopic planning is also required, which we call as a dynamic and agile planning. From a do perspective, you know that then what we do is carry out the plan as we do. We check that whether whatever we have planned and whatever we have thought so is happening. From an act point of view, it's very important to understand the 3 A's of the act. Either you adapt to the situation which is on here, then adopt the new technology, new innovation. And 3 is again very important, is abandon what you do not require. It is extremely important to note that it is important to do the work which is really required. And it is also important to abandon the work which is actually does not create any value. So this is what a Deming cycles everybody knows about, and a little bit of tweaks in the Deming cycle we do to ensure the operational excellence in our work from the lens of safety. Now, one of the EHS performance or QHS performance, what we have done is we are using a lot of Internet of Things. And this is what, again, when we talk about the innovation, I see it's from an emerging risk point of view, and we have to ensure that we manage this risk very, very adequately. Now, what we do from a digital initiatives from quality and safety is we do digital inspection, we have digital tools, we have virtual audits, and virtual audits actually came up in a real terms, especially when the pandemic started, and then artificial intelligence for inspection. And one of the great things, I will just show you 2 examples, it's not taking a lot of time of yours, is that this is virtual audit by using a software called as Help Lighting. And what we do is probably we are not able to go because of the lockdowns and all, but the construction, the show has to go on. And we ensure that the work happens. And then this software helps us in doing a remote visual assistance. And on this remote assistance, we can create a notion and we can create annotation, we can speak, we can give a direction to the people working at site that what is wrong and what is right and where it is wrong. We can even pinpoint the things, and what it does, the outcome is saving in time and cost requires for an audit, and definitely it enhances the quality plus health and safety at the workplaces, and it definitely reduces a lot of requirement of travel. And I will also here will give an importance of how does the travel itself is a risk, and if you travel by airplane, it enhances the greenhouse gas effect. And please note that in COP26, recent COP26, in coming days, what is going to come is we call as a green bonds. Many organizations will go for green bonds, and green bonds will have certain standard what we call is rebates from a normal bonds. So any organization who requires funding probably would be a very, very good point to start with green bonds, where we can think of a sustainable world. Now, another what we are doing is audit by using AI, which is artificial intelligence enabled vehicles. This basically, it minimizes the human intervention, and you will all appreciate whether it is quality problems or whether it is health and safety problems. Normally, if you see, it boils down to human error. Normally, we humans are to err. When we say humans are to err, we are all imperfect. I would or rather say I am imperfect. We call ourselves physical, but we are imperfect. So now, when we ensure that the quality things and health and safety things are reduced to the minimum, what we want to do is minimize the human error. And artificial intelligence in today's time and enable vehicles like this, drones and all these vehicles helps us in ensuring the minimize human interventions to reduce human error. It identifies safety issue plus snags and defects in inaccessible areas to provide real-time status of quality checks at site. And it's always roaming, and it can be operated remotely. So it does not have a constraint of lockdowns, sudden lockdowns of governments, sudden IPC 144 coming in place. So we can operate from a distance and ensure quality and health and safety at the site. The outcome was better coverage with detailed inspection at site. Because please appreciate also one thing. Our human eyes, because it is connected to human brain, are biased. We see what we have believed. but this machine's eyes or the camera is not biased. So what we see is what actually it is showing. Then development of data points for improving artificial intelligence. As you know, the improving of artificial intelligence through machine learning, it requires a lot of data point, and this helps us in building that. Third is useful for checking room internal dimensions, especially in constructions and real estate. RCC defects, there are many defects which RCC could have. So this all helps us, wall defects and alignment. Plus, I will give you one example, where we are using it in a very big time. We use as a safe cop in high critical activities, high health and safety critical activities. For example, it has a sensorics in itself, and it operates as a safe cop. Say a gang of 5 people working, and at the back end, we have fitted the machine with all the actual required things to be done. What the PPEs, that is personal protective equipment, and the safety things they need to follow, everything is given in the back end. And the sensoric senses the people plus the atmosphere, whether there is an noxious gases coming in, what is the temperature of the person who is working from a body temperature. And if anything abnormal happens, this gives an audio and visual alarm plus a SMS or a mobile thing to the managers, so that immediate intervention can occur. And in case if some serious incidents happen, it has also been said that it can also give the notification to the emergency services for immediate deputation of the emergency services at place. This is what I wanted to present today, and my thing was like to see the operation excellence from a macro level, from a very holistic perspective of quality, health and safety, because quality, health and safety and everything goes hand in hand. And I would end my thing that quality and health and safety is 2 parts of one coin. And this coin is the magic wand for us to ensure the people's health and to delight our customer. Thank you very much, Mr. Maheshwari.
Thank you, Mr. Dutt. And it's been, I'm hearing occupational health and safety or quality and occupational health and safety is very important for the construction sector. And operational excellence is, in a way, again, an important element for any business or any enterprise to succeed. And just wanted to highlight few things and which might be relevant for the construction sector. And now I would like to see from the perspective of a national body. So in the construction sector, and just for the benefit of the participants, for any product being used in the construction sector, whether it's a cement or steel, that needs to be tested or that needs to be certified. For example, steel is certified through BIS or it's tested in some laboratory. So herein comes the role of accreditation bodies and the accredited conformity system bodies. So accreditation is again supporting all sectors and across stakeholders. And another thing is, which you highlighted, is the number of deaths which happen in the construction sector, which is very unfortunate. But another point which I wanted to highlight here is that I talked about in one of my slides is certification of persons. And if we have a program for accreditation of certification bodies, which in turn certify persons, and this is an area which the construction sector can very well rely on. For example, a mason or maybe a driver of a earth moving equipment or a crane, or maybe any other skilled labor which may not have any formal qualification, but by virtue of his experience have some competence and which can be certified as per the industry needs. Similarly, the inspection, whether it's a building or a road or a dam or anything, that again, accredited inspection bodies. So thank you for highlighting the various aspects on the operations part and the quality part in the construction sector. And I'm privileged to chair this session of with the eminent speakers, all of 4 of you, and thank you so much for delivering such a wonderful presentation, and the thoughts were so good. And I can see the auditorium in the seminar hall wherein Amity students or the faculty are there. And I believe that it would be quite a learning for them, and from the learning from the various segments of the sectors, industry sectors that we represent. Just to sum up, and before we Before I hand over to Dr. Sumit for the question answers, let me just sum up. And in this, we had talked about the entire international quality ecosystem and how it is replicated within our own country, and how and the various elements of quality, whether it's the quality or the in across sectors, or the leadership, which is or the operational excellence, all these important elements which will drive any business enterprise, or maybe delivery of any service. For example, delivery of educational services, logistical services. So highlighting all the very key points which are relevant across sectors, across industries. And I believe this would be quite helpful for the participants who are there in this conference, and specifically also highlighting how IT, the IoT, or the drones, or the artificial intelligence, or the robotics are helping drive the various sectors of the economy. Because as we move forward, it's a digital age. You talked about remote audits or remote assessments. Everything is, I would say, just 10 years before, you would have not found a farmer, I would say, using a smartphone. So the time has changed. If you look at every decade, there's a change which is happening and which is driving the world forward. So with these thoughts, let me close down this session and hand over to Dr. Sumit for any questions that the participants might have. And it's actually a really wonderful session. And on behalf of all the speakers, I would like to thank the Amity University and its management for inviting all of us to this conference. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, sir, for ensuring smooth conduct of Operations and Quality Forum. I know you have a meeting lined up, and
yeah, I was to say that because I have to leave. If there is any quick question for me, I can answer, or maybe the participants can send their questions over email to us.
Yes, other panelists, I am sure they can handle the questions. I have received few questions from the students, sir, and I request all the panelists, in case they can turn on their camera. The first question which a student has asked is, what are the learnings that operations management need to learn from this COVID crisis? The operational field, what they need to learn from this pandemic scenario or the COVID crisis? Any panelist?
If I may answer this, Joyveer, one of the key learning from this COVID pandemic, I would say, is agility. Hello.
One more thing, which if Dr. Sumit, if you permit, to all the panelists
Sir,
here.
please.
Sir, we did our 5th GLRC in the month of February in 2020. I think that was the last time when all the students, faculty and staff were in the campus. From 11th of March, we went into the lockdown, and as you know, education sector was the first one to be closed and last one to be opened. And today is actually the first day when our students are in the campus. So if you just see in the auditorium, maintaining the COVID protocol, and the seminar hall also, we are having the students of Amity Business School, and this is the first time they have all joined, and number of them have actually, they have seen the campus also first time. So can we request all the students to just clap for all the panelists here, if you are hearing me? Great. Thank you so very much, Dr. Sumit. I just wanted to inform the esteemed members about this development.
Thank you so much, sir. Joyveer, sir, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And the answers to the question, if I may say, one word which comes in my mind, which this COVID pandemic has taught us, is to be agile, is to keep your eyes, ears, and all the human sensorics as well, and the business intelligence extremely open to understand what are the risks emerging. Now, actually, if I may say from a COVID point of view, and with my research, this COVID was not a black swan event. it was a gray rhino, because there was signs from 2002 MERS, from 2017, there was other coronavirus related things, but the world was sleeping. To my all understanding, if I may say that, the world was sleeping. They were saying that, well, it was happening, it was a localized, but till the time it exploded and it engulfed the entire globe into it. So one answer, one word to fight this all sort of challenges: be agile. Thank you.
I would like to add here, if you may permit, Dr. Sumi.
So please.
So, as rightly said by Joyveer, so it is agility is one, adaptability, and also is correlated to the adaptability to the new environment. How fast you are able to adapt to the new environment and think out of box. Because challenges, this is a very fast changing world. Challenges would be there. Today it is COVID. Some other day it would be another thing. So we have to be very adaptive and agile to accept this change and reorient our path. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll also add just one word to this, that resilience, I think, is really, really important to be able to be, take on the challenges which came, even in the logistics industry, huge amount of challenges in terms of, movement of people being told to stay at home, workers not being able to come, the trucks not moving, transportation not moving. So, aim is not to get stressed, to be able to find solutions. Like all the esteemed speakers have used the words like agile, definitely 100%. And as I said, resilience, very, very important to be able to absorb these shocks to the system and then emerge stronger.
Right. Very well answered, sir. So another question which I have received is in relation to quality assurance, what exactly is the difference between this severity and the priority? Somebody wants to know about this severity and priority. Again, anybody, open to all. Manish sir, would you like to?
See, if you have a car and it got punctured, that is your priority, but not severity. But if its balloon is not working, that is a severity, because if you will have an accident, right, the probability of your living will reduce drastically because of the balloon not opening up. So that is severity.
Very right. So very. Now, one very interesting question is being asked, that how to strategize or schedule your day's work. Very important. And I think Manish sir, you want to take it on, or
yes, it is about prioritization. It is about prioritization. First of all, we should be aware actually what we have to do during the day and during the week and during the month. So it is between prioritization of the work. First thing first, probably everything, you may be having 12 tasks or 20 tasks in a particular day. But what do you think is the emergent and urgent task? Those to be taken up first day in the morning, and gradually you can come down to a low priority task if at all you have time for. Otherwise, all these things get scheduled to the next day. But don't forget, you have to keep timelines in your mind so that you don't miss those timelines when these work, because every work has to have a timeline, be it a customer delivery, be it a presentation, be it any sort of thing. So you have to maintain those timelines and accordingly prioritize your work.
Yeah, I can add a couple of things to that. So time management is most important, and also be able to visualize. You should be able to assess as to what is likely to come up, and then accordingly plan as well. So it's not that things are going to drop, because there are going to be occasions where a lot of things are going to come up at the same time. As Manish has also said that we need to prioritize, yes, but what is not a priority will become a priority the next day. So you need to plan your time very well. Time management is most important. And as I said, you need to visualize and assess what's likely to come up, because obviously you are aware of the tasks which are likely to come to you, may come to you. Decide what is, should know, could know, and must know, as they say. So most important, I feel, is time management and to visualize what's likely to come up.
Very right, sir. One more question I have received is, even while going automatic, we are still facing issues such as site crashes. How can we avoid that in order to be consistent on our quality check? Jaivir sir, you want to take it?
Yep. See, I will give you an answer. See, automation, digitalization, and all these are all innovations which are coming up. And I said in my talk also, these also constitute some emerging risk. There is always something which is in backhand is human competency. So we cannot leave human competency. So whether it is a quality, whether it's an operational excellence, please ensure that the person who is into the work or the person who is doing the work is competent enough to do the work. And I believe Mr. Amitabh will relate his stories from armed forces days, that when he sends his troops to the battlefield, he will send the best troops for the battlefield to win the battle. And similarly, I will give another example why I'm saying that the human competence is extremely important. Have you heard about Captain Sully Sambalja, who has landed his aircraft on River Hudson? Now, River Hudson, when both of the engines was in-flight shutdown because of the bird hit, what happens? All the data, all the instruments were showing the pilot that it can safely go and land in the nearest airport. But it was Captain Sambalja or the Captain Sully, because of his competence, he got to know, and there the system was overridden by the human competency, and he had calculated very precisely that no, because of the headwinds, the aircraft cannot go to the nearest airport. And what he decided was to land the aircraft on River Hudson by saving many people's life. So here I would say, yes, the system may crash, your automation system, your digitalization system, but at the same time, human competency is the pivotal. Please ensure the person who works and the person thinks the competency is pivot. Around that, everything is encircled. That will be my answer. Thank you.
Great answer, sir. That's all with questions that I received. Bhavesh, Shreya, over to you.
That was indeed a great interaction. It is rightly said that all good things come to an end, but fortunately, the knowledge we gained today is going to increase exponentially as and when the time passes and we move the career ladder up. We would now like to invite Dr. Sumit Singh Jaiswal sir to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Shreya. You very rightly said, all the good things, they come to an end. And same has happened with our forum also. A very good afternoon to one and all. And I feel honored and privileged to propose a vote of thanks on this historic occasion, which has been marked by the presence of eminent personalities, dignities, and speakers. I, on behalf of Amity Business School, extend my deep regards to our visionary Honorable Founder President, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan sir. It is his vision and leadership that has actually brought revolutionary changes in Amity Universe. I owe my heartfelt thanks to Honorable Dr. Atul Chauhan sir, Chancellor, Amity University, Uttar Pradesh, who has always developed in us a passion for excellence. I further extend my heartfelt thanks to our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Balwinder Shukla ma'am, who has always believed in cultivating excellence and encouraging us to hold seminars and conferences for intellectual growth. I wish to express my profuse thanks to Dr. Sanjeev Bansal sir, Dean FMS, and Director, Amity Business School, who has created a vibrant and stimulating environment for the educational growth at Amity Business School. Thank you so much, sir. And finally, I thank Mr. Rajesh Maheshwari, sir, for being the session chair. Somehow he has to leave for one very important meeting at one of the ministry. And he ensured the smooth conduct of Operations and Quality Forum very nicely. Today, February 17th, 2022, is indeed a memorable day for Amity Business School, when achievers like Mr. Munish Mishra, Mr. Amitabh Shergill, Mr. Joybir Dutt, and Dr. R.S. Rai, they are here with us. Sir, thank you so much for taking time from your busy schedules and sharing your deep insights and experiences with our budding managers. Your inputs were actually thought-provoking, and I'm sure that our students must have got benefited from your deliveries at today's Operations and Quality Forum. We look forward for similar industry academia interactions in future too, sir. Thank you so much for your deliveries. I thank faculty and staff members also for their constant support whenever and wherever it was needed. My special thank goes to the student coordinators and faculty coordinator of Operations and Quality Forum for their dedication, teamwork, and untiring efforts in making this event a great success. Finally, I thank the IT team of Amity University for providing online platform to conduct this event. Thank you all for being such a wonderful audience. Have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all,
Thank you.
everyone. Thank you so very much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.